What is intellectual property rights and types of the intellectual property rights? International organizations of the intellectual property rights. In the modern knowledge-based economy, human creativity and intellect have become valuable assets. To protect such creations of the human mind, the law grants intellectual property right. These rights encourage innovation, creativity, and fair competition by granting exclusive legal protection to creators for a limited period. Now, what is the intellectual property rights? Meaning, intellectual property rights are legal rights granted to a person over the creations of the mind, such as inventions, literary and artistic works, designs, symbols, names, and images used in commerce. WIPO, according to the World Intellectual Property Organization WIPO, intellectual property refers to creations of the mind such as inventions, literary and artistic works, designs and symbols, names and images used in commerce. So, essential features of the IPR: it is an intangible property, it grants exclusive rights to the creator, protection is for a limited period, rights are territorial in nature, encourages the innovations and creativity. And according to the laws, the case laws is in case of R.G. Anand versus Deluxe Films, 1978 AR 1613 Supreme Court. Supreme Court held that the copyright protects the expressions of ideas, not the ideas themselves, emphasizing the core concept of the intellectual property protection. What are the types of the intellectual property rights? There are major types of intellectual property rights recognized in India are copyright, trademark, copyright. Copyright that protects the literary, dramatic, musical, transcriptive works, films, and sound recordings governed by the Copyright Act 1957. Example of copyright is books, software, songs, and films. Trademarks. Trademarks protect the brand names, logos, symbols, and marks governed by the Trademarks Act 1999. Example: Tata, Amul, and Nike. Patent. Patent the protect the inventions involving novelty, inventive step, and industrial application governed by the Patent Act 1970. Examples: new medicines, machines, and industrial processes. Industrial design. Industrial design protects the aesthetic design of articles governed by the Designs Act 2000. Example: shape of bottles, furniture design, etc. Geographical indications. Geographical indication GI. The protects the goods having the specific geographical origin governed by the GI of Goods Act 1999. Example: Darjeeling tea, Banarasi sari. Plant variety protection protects the plant breeders' right governed by PPVFR Act 2001. Example: new seed varieties. Trade secret protects the confidential business information protected through the contract law and equity. Example: Coca-Cola formula. What are the international organizations of the intellectual property rights? With globalization, protections of IPR has become international. Several international organizations regulate and harmonize the IPR laws across the countries. World Trade Organizations, or WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization, World Intellectual Property Organization WIPO, established in 1967, headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, and a specialized agency of the United Nations. Functions of the IPO: administer the international IP treaties, promotes global protections of IPR, provides technical assistance to member states. Important treaties administer the Bonn Convention, Paris Convention, and Patent Cooperation Treaty (PCT). World Trade Organization WTO, established in 1995, deals with the trade-related aspect of IPR. TRIPS agreements, part of the WTO framework, stands for trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights. Mandates the minimum standards of IP protection for all member countries. Significance: the introduce the product patent in pharmaceuticals and strengthen enforcement of the IPR globally. Case law: Novartis AG versus Union of India 2013. The Supreme Court upheld the India's patent law under the TRIPS and balanced public health will patent protection, showing the India's compliance with the international IPR obligation. Conclusion: the intellectual property rights play a vital role in promoting creativity, innovations, and the economic growth by recognizing the different forms of the IPR and assigning domestic laws with international organizations like the WIPO and WTO. India has developed a balanced IPR regimes and regimes that protect the both creators' rights and the public interest. Large revisions is IPR rights over the creations of mind, and the main types is copyright, trademark, patent, code GI, PNGI, and WIPO UN agency for the IPR, and the WTO World Organizations, WTO Oral Body, and tips in global millennium IPR standards.